Hey man, I'm Gary Hoey, and I have been doing a lot of rock and roll fantasy camps over the last several years. And I started out coming in as a counselor, and now I'm one of the music directors, which is, I gotta say, is an honor and a thrill to get to that point, to work through the counselor stages with all the campers, and then get it to the point where I'm doing music directing. And with the counselors that we have, there's not a lot of directing because these guys know what they're doing. Rudy Sarzo and Joe Vitale and Phil Soussan, they're amazing. But the one thing I'll say is with Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, some people come with a fear. They have sort of this pre-nervousness or fear about the camp and what to expect. I think that's kind of natural in most musicians because you walk in a room, you sort of don't know everybody yet, and you're not really sure what level you're going to fit into. But the thing I've learned from doing all these camps is it doesn't matter what level you are. We will bring out the best in you, and you will learn and you will grow. I've never seen a place where people are so supportive and helpful, and even musicians that are at different levels are going and helping the people that need the help. If you ever thought about coming to fantasy camp and you have a fear about it, there is nothing to fear. It's really about coming here and experiencing the music and the people, and changing your life, because that's really what it does. And it's very hard to explain to people Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp and what it's like until you come do it. But it doesn't matter what level you are, we're gonna make it happen. You don't have to prepare. I don't want people to think like, well, if I'm gonna do Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, I might have to practice for 6 months before I get there. No, 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 no. If you saw it on a TV commercial or somebody called you up or you heard it on the radio and you wanna do it next week, I say do it. Because there's no time to waste when you're living your life and you wanna live your dream. And the music does things to people that doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. If you're the CEO of a company, if you're a race car driver, you're a plumber, it's school teachers. I've seen every person come to the camp, and everyone that comes ends up growing in a way that the music changes their life. It's very hard to explain, but working with a team of people, a camaraderie, and a sense of, hey, I met you today, and in 48 hours, we're gonna be on stage together. There's something in that process that really changes you, so when you go home, you're treating your employees different, you're treating your family different, you're looking at your goals different. It really does amazing, like even spiritual things to people, because that's how powerful music is, and that's what I find. When I first came to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, I got back to the reasons I really love music, which is about playing with other people and challenging myself and trying things that make me feel a little uncomfortable, but then all of a sudden I achieve it, and it makes me feel great. And of course, I get to hang out with people like Roger Daltrey and Joe Perry, and a lot of musicians that are my heroes and my idols, and next thing you know, I'm hanging out and we're playing together. So it's been a fantasy of mine to come to the camp, because I would have never experienced any of this, and there is nothing like this camp, and I don't think there ever will be. Sometimes when I think about it, it's almost should be called Rock and Roll Reality Camp, because you make the fantasy a reality. If I were to compare a typical rock and roll VIP experience with a rock and roll fantasy camp VIP experience, it's incredibly different. When you go to a VIP experience at a concert, you could pay $2,000 to see the band. You're going to be herded through in a line. You'll get told, don't touch, don't tell a long story, get a quick picture and go through. What you get at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp is you truly get personal attention. You get to know the person. We get to have lunch together. The first time I was having lunch at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, and Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad looked at me and said, "Can you pass the ketchup?" It was the most amazing thing in my life. I'm handing Mark Farner the ketchup, and she said, "I'm kind of wonderful." That's all I'm thinking in my head. I give him the ketchup, and here it is in a nutshell. If you could take $7,000 and go to Italy and have a vacation in Italy and come back with an amazing tan and some postcards and some stories. But if you come to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, you're going to change your life. It will be the most amazing vacation, life-changing thing you'll ever have. I would come here before I would go to Italy in a minute.